For f of x equals 3 over x squared, find a simplified form of the difference quotient. Difference quotient is f of x plus h minus f of x all divided by h. That's the formula, okay? So let's do that. Let me figure out this first piece, the orange piece, okay? First of all, let me draw a long fraction bar because it's going to be a big fraction with h in the bottom. I'm trying to write this orange piece, okay? We need to plug in x plus h into this function. So what's that going to be? The function will turn into 3 over, instead of x squared, I'm going to have x plus h squared. Okay, so that's this f of x plus h. Next, we'll copy down the minus sign and we need to write what? F of x, right? Well, f of x is just 3 over x squared. So if we can simplify this fraction over fraction, then that will be the simplified form of the difference quotient. So we have some rational expressions to work with here, okay? The orange fraction and the green fraction, they do not have the common denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this first orange fraction by the denominator of the second fraction. You see, the green fraction has x squared in the bottom. So look at this. I'm going to multiply the top and bottom of this orange fraction by x squared over x squared. Okay? Now I'm going to multiply this second fraction, this green one, by the denominator of the first fraction, which is x plus h squared over x plus h squared. Okay? All right. Let's simplify the numerator. Okay, let's simplify this green times orange minus green times orange. Okay, so that will be, let me see, x squared times 3 will give me 3x squared, right? So 3x squared first over, if I multiply these two, that will just be x squared first. I'm not going to distribute it. Oh, I can't because that second parenthesis has a square. So all we can do is just write them next to each other for right now. And then the big minus sign. And let me do these two. Okay, if I multiply the numerators, that will be 3 times x plus h squared. And the denominator will be these two multiplied. So I'll just write it as x squared in front, x plus h squared in the parentheses here, okay? Now, that's just the numerator. Now, but take a look. We are going to eventually divide this subtraction. See this subtraction by h, right? When we are done subtracting these two, I'm going to divide by h. I don't like the look of this fraction over fraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out this h that is currently in the bottom of the fraction as this, times 1 over h. You see what I did, right? I pulled out this h, like this is what I did. Like I grabbed it and put it next to it, okay? But this was in the bottom of the fraction, so I still have to do 1 over h. So let me focus on this now. I'm going to subtract these two red fractions. Now that the denominators are matching, I can simply subtract the numerators. I was going to just subtract 3x squared minus this expression, but I can tell we will need to FOIL this out and distribute the 3. So that's going to be some work on the side. I'll do the work on the side over here. So I have to do 3x squared minus 3 times x plus h times x plus h, right? What I wrote down over here is what I circled on the numerator. Let us FOIL. Okay, I'm gonna FOIL this. X times x is x squared. X times h, and another x times h. That's going to give me 2xh. Lastly, plus h squared. So now when I'm done FOILing, I have that blue trinomial. All right, I'm ready to distribute that 3 in. So I'm going to distribute this 3. But notice that's a negative 3 in front. So that's going to be 3x squared just coming down. But when you distribute this negative 3, you will get minus 3x squared. Negative 3 times positive 2, that will give me minus 6xh. And negative 3 times positive h squared, that's negative 3hx squared. So that's going to be the new numerator. Oh, but look, like terms. One of them is positive 3x squared. This other one is negative 3x squared. So guess what happened to them? They cancel out. So the only thing left is this. This is the only thing left on top of the fraction. So let me write that down over here. I'll just draw like dotted line. So this is my simplified fraction. I have negative 6xh minus 3h squared over, you know, when you subtract fractions, you keep the denominators the same. You don't subtract denominator, so you just copy down the denominator exactly the same. X squared, x plus h squared times 1 over h. Okay, now I just need to simplify this. I think we're almost done. You know, I'm dividing. Well, I think I'll do one more thing for you, okay? Notice that this complicated fraction right here, they have h as the greatest common factor. Pull that out. If you pull that h out, what will happen is you will have h in front, right? And you will have negative 6x minus 3h. And the denominator will be exactly the same. I'm not changing anything there. But I wanted to pull out that h to the front. Okay, I factor out the h to the front because now we can do is, you see, we can cancel out this h on top and h in the bottom. So let's write our final answer. Our final answer is negative 6x minus 3h over x squared times x plus h squared. So lots of algebra, but we needed to remember how to work with fractions, common denominator, some foiling, you know, all that, to find the simplified form of the difference quotient.